Taysom Hill was born in Pocatello, Idaho. Known for its tight-knit community and scenic landscapes, Pocatello is far from the glitz and glamour of major cities. This environment, where hard work and perseverance are values deeply ingrained in daily life, helped cultivate Hill's mental toughness and dedication to excellence. Raised in a large family, Hill learned the importance of teamwork, discipline, and pushing through challenges from a young age. Hill's passion for sports began early. He was always an active child, never shying away from competition. Whether it was playing backyard football with friends or participating in local sports leagues, he displayed an innate ability to excel in various athletic endeavors. He competed in football, basketball, and track, showcasing his natural athleticism across multiple disciplines. Each sport provided a different outlet for his skills, whether it was football's tactical nature, basketball's fast pace, or the individual challenge of track and field events. Even at a young age, Hill's competitive drive was evident. He was never content with being average, always pushing himself to be better. Whether it was sprinting past his peers in track meets or outworking teammates in football practice, Hill's athletic potential began to shine. His resilience, focus, and desire to improve would lay the foundation for the challenges that awaited him in the future. Hill's athletic journey truly took off during his high school years at Highland High School in Pocatello. Initially, Hill began his football career as a wide receiver, but his coaches quickly recognized his versatility and football IQ, prompting a transition to the quarterback position. This move would prove crucial for his future success, allowing him to showcase both his arm strength and his ability to make quick decisions on the field. In 2008, Hill led his high school team to a state championship, solidifying his place as one of Idaho's top football prospects. His dynamic playmaking ability, coupled with his leadership on and off the field, earned him the prestigious title of Gatorade Player of the Year in Idaho. This recognition wasn't just a testament to his physical skills, it was also a reflection of his mental toughness and determination. This period in Hill's life was pivotal in shaping his mindset. While many young athletes might have let early success go to their heads, Hill remained grounded. He continued to push himself in training, never losing sight of the bigger picture. His experiences during high school taught him the value of resilience, as he learned to cope with the pressures of being a top athlete while maintaining his commitment to personal growth. His dedication to football and his ability to overcome setbacks would prepare him for the even bigger challenges ahead. When it came time to choose a college, Taysom Hill opted for Brigham Young University, BYU, a school known not just for its football program, but also for its strong emphasis on character and faith, two things Hill deeply valued. His decision to attend BYU was influenced by its alignment with his personal beliefs and the opportunity it presented to further his football career. Hill's early days at BYU were filled with promise. His athleticism and versatility were immediately noticeable, and he quickly became a key figure in the football program. As a dual-threat quarterback, Hill's ability to both pass and run made him a dangerous weapon on the field. Coaches and fans alike saw glimpses of a bright future, believing he had the potential to become one of BYU's all-time greats. However, Hill's collegiate career was also where he began to experience the first significant adversities that would test his resilience. During his freshman season, Hill faced his first major injury, a ruptured ACL, anterior cruciate ligament, in his knee that cut his season short. For an athlete who had only known success up to that point, this was a devastating blow. It was the first time Hill was forced to reckon with the harsh reality that injuries could derail his football dreams. But rather than allowing the injury to define him, Hill used it as motivation. He committed himself to an intense rehabilitation program, determined to come back stronger. This was the first of many moments in his career where Hill's mental toughness was put to the test. His ability to overcome this early setback demonstrated the deep-rooted resilience that would become a hallmark of his football journey. Hill's transition from high school stardom to the collegiate level at BYU was not without its challenges, but it was here that he began to truly understand the importance of perseverance in the face of adversity. Each setback, whether it was an injury or a challenge on the field, only strengthened his resolve to succeed. Little did he know, the challenges were far from over, and his journey was just beginning. In 2012, during his freshman season at BYU, Taysom Hill faced his first major setback, a torn anterior cruciate ligament, ACL, in his knee. This injury happened in a game against Utah State, cutting short what had been a promising season for Hill. For any athlete, especially one with such high expectations and potential, an ACL tear is a devastating blow. It's an injury that doesn't just take a physical toll, but also weighs heavily on the mind. The recovery process is long and grueling, filled with doubts about whether one will ever regain the full strength and agility they once had. For Hill, this was a pivotal moment. Up until this point, his athletic journey had been one of rapid success and growing recognition. but the torn ACL was a harsh reminder that even the most promising careers can be derailed in an instant. The injury forced Hill to sit out the rest of the season, watching from the sidelines as his teammates continued without him. Mentally, the challenge was just as significant as the physical rehabilitation. Hill had to confront the possibility that his career trajectory could be permanently altered. However, rather than succumbing to the fear and frustration, Hill used this time to strengthen his mental fortitude. He approached his rehabilitation with the same competitive spirit he had shown on the field. Day after day, he worked with the medical staff, pushing his body to heal faster and stronger than expected. It wasn't just about recovering, it was about coming back even better. Hill's mindset during this period was crucial in setting the tone for how he would handle future challenges. By 2014, Hill had become a key player for BYU. His athleticism, leadership, and dual-threat capabilities as a quarterback made him the centerpiece of the team's offense. That season, BYU was off to an impressive start, with an undefeated record through their first 4 games. Hill was leading the team with confidence, and the excitement around him was palpable. Many believed that 2014 would be his breakout year, the season that would cement his legacy as one of the greatest players in BYU history. But then, in a game against Utah State, disaster struck once again. Hill suffered a broken leg, shattering the hopes of not just his season, but the entire BYU football community. The timing of the injury couldn't have been worse. Hill was in the prime of his college career, and this injury halted his momentum in a brutal fashion. The emotional toll was immense. Hill had fought so hard to come back from his ACL injury, and just when things seemed to be going his way, another devastating injury occurred. There were moments when Hill wondered if his body would continue to betray him. The doubts about his future as a professional athlete grew louder, and the expectations that once surrounded him began to waver. Still, Hill refused to give in to despair. Despite the overwhelming frustration and disappointment, he remained committed to his recovery. The broken leg required extensive rehabilitation, but Hill approached it with the same determination he had shown in 2012. He knew that this injury, like the one before it, was another obstacle that he had to overcome. He kept his focus on the long term, believing that his career wasn't over, it was simply taking a detour. In 2015, after another arduous offseason of recovery and preparation, Taysom Hill was back on the field. His return was highly anticipated, and BYU fans were eager to see him lead the team once again. However, in the very first game of the season, tragedy struck for a third time. Hill suffered a broken foot, yet another significant injury that would end his season before it even truly began. This injury was particularly devastating because it came so soon after his previous recovery. For many athletes, suffering 3 major injuries in such a short span of time would have been the breaking point. The constant cycle of injury, rehabilitation, and return was enough to break even the strongest of wills. Hill was not only facing physical limitations but also the growing question of whether his body could withstand the demands of professional football. The broken foot cast doubt on his ability to play at a high level, and many began to wonder if Hill's professional football aspirations were slipping away. But Hill, true to his nature, refused to be defined by his injuries. He once again turned to his faith, his family, and his inner strength to guide him through this dark period. Despite enduring 3 major injuries, Taysom Hill never gave up. His perseverance during his college years became one of the defining aspects of his career. Hill's relationship with his faith played a critical role in his ability to bounce back. He often credited his belief in a higher purpose and the support of his family as the driving forces that kept him grounded during these challenging times. Hill's resilience wasn't just about physical recovery, it was about mental strength. Every time he was knocked down, he found a way to get back up, even when the odds were stacked against him. His experiences at BYU, though filled with pain and disappointment, molded him into the person and player he would become in the NFL. These injuries also forced Hill to adjust his mindset about his football future. While he had once envisioned himself as a long-term starting quarterback, he began to embrace the idea of being more versatile, realizing that his path to the NFL might look different from what he had originally planned. He used these setbacks as fuel, transforming each challenge into motivation for his eventual leap to the professional level. After years of resilience and hard work during his collegiate career, Taysom Hill's ultimate dream was to make it to the NFL. Despite the injuries that had plagued his time at BYU, Hill's talent and versatility as a quarterback had still drawn attention from NFL scouts. However, the concerns over his health and injury history cast a shadow over his prospects for the NFL draft in 2017. As the rounds passed and Hill's name remained uncalled, the reality began to sink in: he wasn't going to be drafted. The disappointment of not being selected in the draft was a tough pill to swallow for Hill. For someone who had overcome so much adversity, this moment felt like another setback. Many players in his position might have let the rejection define them, perhaps even considering walking away from the game altogether. But Hill's mindset was different. He had been through worse 3 major injuries in college and had come back stronger each time. This was just another challenge, and in true Taysom Hill fashion, he faced it head-on. Hill didn't allow the disappointment to derail his focus. Almost immediately after the draft, he signed with the Green Bay Packers as an undrafted free agent. It was a new beginning, and while the odds were still stacked against him, Hill knew this was an opportunity to prove himself. His time with the Packers was brief. He was released before the season began, but even that short stint gave him valuable experience and insight into the level of competition in the NFL. Hill wasn't discouraged by his release from Green Bay. He viewed it as part of the process and remained determined to keep his NFL dreams alive. Hill's big break came when the New Orleans Saints claimed him off waivers shortly after his release from the Packers. Initially, Hill joined the Saints as part of their practice squad, a place for players to develop and prove their worth. For many athletes, the practice squad can feel like a dead end, but for Hill, it was the gateway to a remarkable opportunity. Sean Payton, the head coach of the New Orleans Saints, quickly recognized something unique in Hill. While many teams had passed on him due to concerns about his injuries, Payton saw untapped potential. Hill wasn't just another quarterback, he was an all-around athlete with the ability to play multiple positions. Payton's vision for Hill extended beyond the traditional role of a quarterback, and he began using Hill in various ways, from special teams to tight end to a backup quarterback in certain packages. Hill embraced this role with enthusiasm. While many quarterbacks might have resisted the idea of playing other positions, Hill saw it as a way to stay on the field and contribute. His versatility became his greatest asset. He was willing to play anywhere the team needed him, and this attitude earned him the respect of his coaches and teammates alike. Hill's role with the Saints quickly expanded. He became a core part of the team's special teams unit, blocking punts, making tackles, and contributing to key plays. On offense, he was used in short yardage situations as a running quarterback and as a receiving threat. His willingness to do whatever it took to help the team made him an invaluable asset. Payton's decision to utilize Hill's unique skill set paid off, and Hill began to establish a reputation as one of the NFL's most versatile players. His contributions went far beyond the stat sheet. Hill's attitude, work ethic, and team-first mentality made him a locker room favorite and a player who embodied the core values of the Saints organization. For a player who had once been overlooked and doubted, Hill had now found his niche in the NFL, and his career was beginning to flourish. The true test of Hill's resilience, however, came in 2021. After Drew Brees, the legendary Saints quarterback, retired, the battle for the starting quarterback position began. Hill had been the backup for Brees and had occasionally filled in when needed, so naturally, he was one of the top candidates for the starting role. Competing alongside him for the job was Jameis Winston, a former #1 overall draft pick with his own share of ups and downs in the league. The competition was intense, with both Hill and Winston vying to fill the massive shoes left by Brees. Ultimately, Winston won the starting job, relegating Hill to a backup role once again. For many players, losing out on such a coveted position would be a crushing blow, especially after having fought so hard to reach that point. Hill could have easily let this moment define him negatively, losing motivation or even questioning his future with the Saints. But true to his nature, Hill chose a different path. Rather than sulking or showing frustration, he accepted the decision with grace and professionalism. He understood that the team's success was more important than any individual accolade. Instead of retreating into the background, Hill continued to contribute in other roles: tight end, special teams, and even as a backup quarterback when called upon. His ability to play multiple positions remained a valuable asset to the team, and Hill never stopped giving his best effort in whatever capacity he was needed. Losing the starting quarterback role could have shaken Hill's confidence, but instead, it only strengthened his resolve. He remained focused on being the best teammate and player he could be, knowing that opportunities in the NFL are fleeting, and versatility is often the key to longevity. By embracing this mindset, Hill was able to maintain his importance to the Saints, even without being the starting quarterback. His journey in 2021 reflected his career as a whole, a series of setbacks and challenges that he turned into motivation. Whether it was losing the starting job to Winston or the earlier trials of going undrafted and being released, Hill consistently demonstrated that resilience and a positive attitude can overcome almost any obstacle. His adaptability became a cornerstone of his career, allowing him to remain a critical part of the Saints roster. In 2021, Taysom Hill faced yet another major setback and injury that many feared could end his NFL career or at the very least limit his effectiveness on the field. During a Week 13 game against the Dallas Cowboys, Hill suffered a significant Lisfranc injury to his foot, one of the most severe injuries a football player can experience. The Lisfranc joint complex, located in the midfoot, is critical for maintaining stability and motion in the foot. An injury to this area can be devastating, often requiring surgery and an extensive rehabilitation process. For Hill, the timing couldn't have been worse. He had already lost the battle for the starting quarterback position to Jameis Winston earlier in the season, and just when he was getting back on the field in other roles, the Lisfranc injury brought his progress to a screeching halt. To make matters worse, the injury was severe enough to require surgery, followed by months of rehab. The prospect of facing another long recovery was daunting, particularly at this stage in his career, where he was fighting to maintain his value as a versatile player on the Saints roster. The physical toll of the Lisfranc injury was immense. Hill's playing style relies heavily on his athleticism, his ability to scramble, and his explosiveness when running the football. A serious foot injury threatened to undermine those very strengths. The mental strain was equally heavy. Having already endured multiple injuries earlier in his career, Hill knew what was ahead of him, a long and grueling recovery period filled with uncertainty about his future in the NFL. For many athletes, such an injury could be a career-altering event. The road to recovery from a Lisfranc injury is often uncertain, with no guarantees that a player will ever regain their full ability. Hill had to face the harsh reality that his time in the NFL could be limited if he wasn't able to come back at 100%. However, as he had shown throughout his career, Hill wasn't one to back down from a challenge. Instead of letting the injury defeat him, he focused on what he could control: his mindset and his rehabilitation process. The months following the surgery were some of the most challenging of Hill's career. Recovery from a Lisfranc injury typically involves a long period of immobilization to allow the bones and ligaments to heal, followed by extensive physical therapy to restore strength and mobility to the foot. For Hill, who had always relied on his physical prowess, the limitations imposed by the injury were frustrating. However, Hill approached his rehabilitation with the same resilience that had characterized his entire career. He worked tirelessly with medical professionals, determined to come back stronger than ever. The mental aspect of his recovery was just as important as the physical. Hill knew that he had to stay positive and focused during this time. He used the recovery period not only to heal his body but also to strengthen his mental game. This time away from the field allowed him to reflect on his career and prepare mentally for the challenges that lay ahead. He knew that his return wouldn't be easy, but he was determined to prove that he still had a lot to offer the Saints and the NFL. As the 2022 season approached, Hill's hard work began to pay off. Slowly but surely, he regained his strength and mobility. The Saints coaching staff, knowing Hill's value as a versatile player, began integrating him back into the offense in creative ways. Although he wasn't competing for the starting quarterback role, Hill's adaptability allowed him to contribute in other positions, including tight end and as a runner in the Wildcat formation. Hill's return in 2022 was a testament to his resilience. He didn't come back as the same player who had left. He came back with an even greater determination to prove his worth. Hill's role as a tight end allowed him to showcase his physicality and versatility. In Wildcat formations, he used his dual threat ability as both a runner and a passer to keep defenses guessing. Even after such a serious injury, Hill was able to contribute in multiple facets of the game, proving that he was far from finished. His return wasn't just about physical recovery, it was about demonstrating that he could still be a key player for the Saints, despite the injury. Hill showed that his mental toughness was just as impressive as his physical abilities. His refusal to give up, even in the face of significant adversity, became a defining characteristic of his career. By 2023, the Saints had entered a new era with Derek Carr as their starting quarterback. For Hill, this marked yet another transition in his career. With Carr established as the team's leader under center, Hill once again had to adapt to a new role. But if there's one thing Hill's career had demonstrated, it was his ability to evolve and contribute in whatever way the team needed. In this new phase of his career, Hill embraced his role as a utility player, lining up at tight end, quarterback, and even on special teams. His versatility remained one of his greatest assets, and he continued to be a key part of the Saints' offensive strategy. Whether it was catching passes as a tight end or taking direct snaps in short yardage situations, Hill's ability to do it all made him an invaluable weapon for the Saints. Hill's acceptance of his new role with Derek Carr at quarterback showcased his humility and team-first mentality. He understood that the Saints' success was more important than his individual aspirations, and he was willing to do whatever it took to help the team win. His experience, leadership, and work ethic earned him the respect of his teammates and coaches alike. In many ways, Hill's journey from quarterback contender to multifaceted playmaker mirrored the broader narrative of his career, a story of resilience, adaptability, and relentless determination. He had come a long way from being an undrafted free agent, constantly overcoming obstacles and proving doubters wrong. His ability to reinvent himself time and time again, despite the challenges he faced, was a testament to his character and his love for the game. The 2023 season with Derek Carr at the helm wasn't just another chapter in Hill's career, it was a continuation of a legacy built on perseverance. Hill's willingness to embrace new roles and adapt to changing circumstances kept him relevant and essential to the team. While some players struggled to adjust as their careers evolve, Hill thrived in this environment of constant change, showing once again that resilience is the key to longevity in the NFL. In 2023, Taysom Hill reached a significant milestone in his career when he was named a captain of the New Orleans Saints. This recognition wasn't just a testament to his on-field versatility, but to the leadership he had demonstrated throughout his tenure with the team. For Hill, who had battled through injuries, positional changes, and the ups and downs of professional football, the captaincy was a culmination of years of hard work, dedication, and resilience. Being named captain is one of the highest honors a player can receive in the NFL, as it signifies the trust and respect of one's teammates and coaches. Hill's journey to this position was anything but conventional. He wasn't a high draft pick, nor had he ever been the face of the franchise as a star quarterback. Instead, Hill earned this honor through his relentless work ethic and his willingness to do whatever was necessary for the team's success. Whether blocking punts on special teams, making critical plays as a runner, or filling in a quarterback, Hill's selflessness and commitment to the team were evident. His leadership style was less about vocal outbursts or fiery speeches and more about leading by example. Hill was the type of player who showed up early, stayed late, and put in the work every day, even when the cameras weren't rolling. His dedication to his craft, even in the face of numerous setbacks, set the tone for the entire team. Younger players looked up to him as a model of professionalism, while veterans respected his consistency and his ability to always contribute in meaningful ways. The captaincy also symbolized Hill's role as a stabilizing force within the Saints organization. In a league where change is constant, Hill's presence was a steadying influence in the locker room. He had been through the highs and lows, and his ability to remain positive and focused made him an invaluable leader, especially during times of transition, such as after the retirement of Drew Brees and the arrival of new players like Derek Carr. At the core of Taysom Hill's resilience and leadership is his deeply held belief in the importance of faith, family, and football. Hill often speaks about the balance between these three pillars of his life, crediting them for giving him the strength to overcome adversity and stay grounded in a profession that can be incredibly demanding, both physically and mentally. Hill's faith has always been central to his life. Raised in a devout family, he developed a strong spiritual foundation that has carried him through the most challenging moments of his career. Whether it was recovering from serious injuries or adjusting to new roles within the team, Hill's belief in a higher purpose gave him a sense of peace and perspective. His faith allowed him to see setbacks not as the end, but as opportunities for growth and reflection. This mindset not only helped him persevere but also made him a role model for others, demonstrating that success in sports is not just about talent but about the strength of character and perseverance. Family is another cornerstone of Hill's life. Throughout his career, he has often spoken about the support he receives from his wife, children, and extended family. Their unwavering encouragement has been a source of motivation for Hill, helping him to stay focused on his goals even when times were tough. For Hill, family is not just a source of personal strength but also a reminder of what truly matters in life. Football is a passion and a career, but it is his relationships with his loved ones that give him a sense of fulfillment and purpose beyond the game. Hill's approach to football is deeply intertwined with his values of faith and family. He views the sport as not only a platform to showcase his talents but also as a vehicle for personal growth and a way to inspire others. His philosophy is one of hard work, humility, and service. Hill doesn't seek the spotlight or personal glory, rather, he focuses on how he can contribute to the team and uplift those around him. This balanced approach to life has allowed Hill to maintain his resilience in the face of adversity. While many athletes struggle to find meaning beyond the sport, Hill's grounding in faith and family has provided him with a strong foundation that keeps him centered, regardless of the challenges he faces on the field. It is this perspective that has enabled him to overcome injuries, positional changes, and moments of doubt with a sense of calm and determination. Ultimately, Hill's leadership and work ethic are a reflection of the values he holds dear. His journey in the NFL, marked by perseverance and adaptability, is a testament to his belief that success isn't just about individual accomplishments but about staying true to one's principles, working hard, and lifting others up along the way. As a captain, a teammate, and a family man, Hill embodies the qualities of a true leader, both on and off the field. In today's NFL, versatility has become more valuable than ever. As teams look for ways to maximize their rosters, players who can fill multiple roles are highly sought after. Taysom Hill's ability to play quarterback, tight end, running back, and contribute on special teams makes him the quintessential example of the modern utility player. His skill set aligns perfectly with the evolving strategies of the NFL, where flexibility and adaptability are crucial to success. The modern NFL is a league of constant innovation. Offensive and defensive schemes are more complex, and teams are always searching for ways to create mismatches on the field. In this environment, players like Hill, who can seamlessly transition between positions, provide a unique advantage. His ability to line up as a quarterback on one play, then shift to tight end or even a wide receiver on the next, forces defenses to stay on their toes. Coordinators have to account for Hill in multiple ways, which opens up opportunities for the Saints to exploit weaknesses in their opponents. Hill's versatility is also a testament to his athleticism and football IQ. It's not easy to master the intricacies of different positions at the NFL level, but Hill has shown the ability to understand and execute his role, no matter where he's lined up. His adaptability speaks to his deep understanding of the game and his willingness to put the team's needs above his personal aspirations. While many players might resist changing positions, Hill embraced it, understanding that his versatility made him indispensable to the Saints. The NFL's evolution over the past decade has placed a premium on players who can do more with less. Roster spots are limited, and injuries can force teams to adjust quickly. Having a player like Hill, who can step into multiple roles when needed, gives teams greater flexibility. Whether it's stepping in as a quarterback in a pinch, making a key play on special teams, or lining up as a tight end in crucial moments, Hill's versatility makes him an invaluable asset in a league that demands adaptability. Hill's legacy as one of the most versatile players in the NFL is already cemented. Very few players have been able to contribute at such a high level in so many different facets of the game. While some players are defined by their statistics or records, Hill's career will be remembered for his unique ability to change the course of a game in a variety of ways. He may not have the passing yards of a traditional quarterback or the receptions of a full-time tight end, but his impact on the field is undeniable. In an era where specialization is often praised, Hill has redefined what it means to be a valuable player in the NFL. His willingness to adapt and play wherever the team needs him has set him apart from his peers. He's proven that being a jack of all trades doesn't mean being a master of none. In fact, Hill's ability to excel in multiple positions has made him one of the most valuable players on the Saints roster. As the NFL continues to evolve, the demand for players like Hill will only grow. The league is constantly searching for the next innovative edge, and players who can wear multiple hats provide that edge. Hill's legacy will inspire future generations of players to embrace versatility, showing that being adaptable is just as important as being skilled in one specific area. In the end, Hill's career isn't just a story of overcoming adversity, it's a testament to the power of versatility in the modern game. His willingness to step into any role, his dedication to improving in every aspect of the game, and his unique ability to impact the field in countless ways have made him one of the most intriguing and influential players of his era. If you've been inspired by Taysom Hill's incredible journey, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more stories of perseverance and triumph. Hill's career, marked by resilience from his college injuries to his role as a captain in the NFL, shows the power of determination. His ability to turn challenges into fuel for success is a reminder that no obstacle is too great when you refuse to give up. Let his story be an example of true grit and inspiration.